Hello and welcome to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
I'm Ted, and I am a Lohan fan.
This week, Ted and I, we took on Irish Wish, Netflix, 1 hour, 31 minutes, starring Lindsay Lohan, Ed Speleers.
I've never seen him in anything.
Speleers, Alex Viahos, Alicia Curry, Jane Seymour, Elizabeth Tan. That's basically the rundown. Well, Jane Seymour plays Lindsay Lohan's mother in this, and more or less a cameo kind of role.
Yeah, they definitely shot most of her scenes in one day.
Yeah.
For sure. They got a high school wherever she lives, and they just shot them in one day.
Got it done.
Wait, did she show up at the end? She did show up at the end in Ireland, right? Or was it just on the phone? It was just on the phone.
Yeah, no. She literally phoned it in.
I would love to know where she lives, because then I know what high school they shot that at.
Well, I think she lives in California, Jane Seymour. She's a former Bond girl.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman?
Yeah, you have to excuse me. I've got sinus real bad today. Out in the desert for 4 days and dried me up. And
then you got back here and it was like...
It's a pollen-free zone out in the Nevada desert, and then you come back to a pollen world, and boom.
It is a pollen world. I'm just going to say it. Jane Seymour is 73. Good on you, Jane Seymour. You are still quite a looker.
She was a Bond girl. She was in Live and Let Die with Roger Moore.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyway, Ted, you want to take what this movie's about? I mean, it's real simple.
It's about
let's not overthink this movie.
I mean, it's about a book, or a writer and his book editor. And they have come up with this Irish Tale? What was the name of the book?
Oh, I forget.
Forgettable book. Anyway, they come up with a book, and basically she's ghostwritten it with him, and she's in love with him and wants to get married, and one of her best friends meets him. They fall in love, and immediately they're all in Ireland. They're getting married 2 months later, and Lindsay Lohan's upset about it. She sits on a magic rock, and she makes a wish, and an Irish fairy lady shows up and grants her the wish that she thinks she wants, which is to be married to Paul Kennedy. Ends up Paul's not that cool, and along the way she meets a nature photographer on the plane where she accuses him of stealing her luggage, and then when it flips and she becomes Paul Kennedy's fiance, when her wish comes true, that guy doesn't remember her, but she remembers that he's a photographer, and so they hire him to photograph the wedding. And then anything else would be giving away this, like, by numbers plot.
Well, it's a wrestling match.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, if you're familiar with professional wrestling, not athletic wrestling,
no,
professional.
Not collegiate style NCAA wrestling.
Yeah, not you know who's going to win the match when they come out, and whoever's kicking butt at the beginning, they're going to lose. Yeah. Because there's, the flip. Oh, boom. You pissed me off. I'm winning now, and that's how this plot goes, and you'll figure it out. But.
Yeah. Like, this is not ruining anything. Like, Paul wants to go on a bike ride, but Lindsay can't. Or not Lindsay. What's her name in the movie?
Maddie.
Maddie can't ride a bike very well.
Right.
Even though 97% of people learned to ride a bike when they were a child very well. But anyway, and so her friend that he does marry, or was going to marry, he's like, "Oh, I'll ride bikes with you."
Yeah.
And then, and then the photographer shows up, and she goes on a trip with him because her fiance doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
And then, and then she realizes that, I don't care, I'm just going to tell the plot. Then she realizes that she doesn't really want to be with him, and she says no at the altar, and she goes back to the rock and wishes that it never had happened, and she wakes up, and nothing's happened. Her friends are getting married, and the next day she goes into town and runs into the photographer, except none of this has happened, so he doesn't really know her. So they sit on a bench, and they have a moment together, and I think she says, "Maybe we could hang out sometime," basically. And he's like, "Yeah, I think I'd like that." And then that's the end of this movie.
Yeah.
And it's a paint-by-numbers Hallmark movie. Performance-wise, I think that Ed Speleers is good.
Yeah,
he's the best actor.
All right, let's break into actors here. Performances. Ed, I thought he's
the best one.
Yeah, by far.
He's like,
I'm not exaggerating.
You're not exaggerating. Him and the bartender.
By far,
the bartender was pretty good.
Yeah, if you screw that up, you're in trouble because he's only got like
it's like one scene,
two scenes.
Oh, is it two?
Two scenes because she comes looking for her.
Oh yeah,
comes
lad, you can take my car.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Yeah, Ed was best actor in this. We'll skirt around Lindsay here. Save her for last.
Well, I have a unique. We save her for last, but I have a take on her.
Okay, okay.
I have a take on her.
Go for it.
Well, no, let's go ahead. Ayesha Curry. I'm pretty sure Ayesha Curry is
Steph Curry's wife, basketball player. Yeah, Golden State Warriors.
Okay, okay. She was fine. She was much better than the other girl. The other girl that he was supposed to marry.
I thought I thought Elizabeth Tan did great.
I thought
she was my number 2 in this movie.
I mean, they're all kind of fine.
So I did, and I thought that Alexandra Viahos, Viahos or what I can't V-I.
Who cares?
H-O-S. Yeah, it's a noun. I don't think he did a really bang up job there.
He studied acting at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama.
Mm. Here's the thing with it's one of these and it's not I'm not being degrading to anybody, but they're different types of actors, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it has a lot to do with how you go into the project, your role, right? And from a standpoint of cool, calm, and collective, right? So I didn't sense other than Ed and Elizabeth, there was a lot of confidence. There was a lot of overacting in this movie.
Well, okay, let's get into the Lindsay Lohan thing.
It's like a made-for-TV special.
It is a made-for-TV special. It's made for Netflix.
Yeah, well, it's a movie. It's legit. It's 1 hour and 31. I
don't know that we can say that Netflix films are the highest of quality.
I think they have some good stuff.
They have some wonderful series and documentaries.
I mean, well, look, we just watched Spaceman with Adam Sandler. Yeah. That was a Netflix. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a lot of production value in that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was horrible, but there was a lot. They did, just staying on Adam, Murder Mystery 1 and 2.
Yeah, that one's good.
And Champions.
Champions?
What was the basketball movie?
Yeah, that was it, but it's not a Netflix. It's like a Peacock or something.
Okay.
Anyway. I guess I would say this. Okay, so I think going into this, the script would be I think it's kind of boring. And if they don't dial it up and overact a little bit, there's like nothing to really...
Then why even make it?
Just because
why?
Because people love this formula. My mom would watch this movie and be like, this is great. And my mom has terrible taste in film.
Yeah, and look at let's just jump into Lindsay now. I don't know how to process her acting. I really don't, because everything she's trying to sell the dialogue by expressions and attitude and rather than focusing on the dialogue.
So here's my take on Lindsay Lohan.
All right.
She is an adult woman now.
37.
37.
As of today.
You know who never, happy birthday. She really, being a 37-year-old, she's probably playing 30 in this. That's what we're supposed to probably think, is that they're all 30. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I guess the thing I would say is she didn't have a real childhood. She never really grew up. She was smoking cigarettes on a red carpet when she was 21 years old, 18 years old. And like, I think it must be weird to kind of get your stuff together. In the last 3 or 4 years, she's had a resurgence. But like, she was doing that movie, The Canyons, 10 years ago, where she was playing like opposite a porn star. Like, what I would believe a lot more. I'm sure she has no clue how to play this part. She has no clue how to play this. Oh, I'm a book editor that like, I really blah, 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 blah. I've fallen for the book guy and I'm innocent and nice. No, if you want to see Lindsay Lohan be a good actor, put her in something where she's playing like a rundown drug addict. I bet you $5 she plays that well.
I'm glad you said that, because that this is a Disney movie. She doesn't ever seem to progress, at least in recent years. Because we just watched her last year in Christmas Fall or Falling for Christmas.
That one was better.
And, they both sucked.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I mean, is it the same writer and director?
I have no idea. And the reason we watched this movie was it's last Sunday was St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy, yes. And love you, honey.
Oh, it's the same director.
Okay.
And she did Paris Christmas, High Strung. Yeah.
With him?
What did I
tell you? The director?
But yes. What did I tell you?
Yeah.
What did I tell you? Hallmark movies.
Well, I think they're attempts at Parent Trap type movies. A Disney movie. I think Hallmark movies are better than this. I've made a couple of Hallmark movies.
Hallmark movies are, but they're not bad. But like, I mean, I think we're really throwing it at being mean if we're saying that Lindsay Lohan in this movie is worse than most of the leads in those Hallmark movies.
Well, I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to say that. I think Reba McEntire, and I worked with Reba. I did the show.
You did Reba?
Well, no, I did Is There Life Out There?
Okay. I thought you were about to say you did Reba.
Which was her Hallmark movie. Marion Reese Productions produced that. And Reba did a much better job in her movie, that movie, than Lindsay Lohan did in this one. I did the movie separate but equal.
Oh, the Kitty Dodd story.
Well, that's a different one, but yes, the Kitty Dodd story did that. So I just don't. I don't get her. I don't think she's a good actress. I don't.
Because you're watching her do the same thing she did in Mean Girls 20 years ago? Is that what you're kind of trying to get at?
Well, I mean, I think she's faking it. Because, she's trying to overcorrect for a bad image on a personal life, and she's trying to be sweet and cute in her movies. I was thinking two things that I thought while I was watching this movie. First of all, this was Lindsay Lohan's equivalent of J-Lo's long-form music video minus the music.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
Because we just constantly rehash with her movies, as of late, relationship issues. Falling for Christmas. She fell in love with a working class. It was her overboard. Working class hotel worker, owner, whatever.
She's married.
She was, a princess because she was the daughter of a billionaire, and yada yada yada, and it all dealt with finding the right guy, and that's what this movie does too. It's about her finding the right guy.
She got married 2 years ago and has a child.
Right.
So
yeah,
she might be.
Yeah, he's in finance,
but she might be mailing it in to hey, let's bring some money in.
Well, no, he's in finance. He should be doing okay, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, first of all, I mean, guy standing behind a desk at a bank, which technically is finance, asking how would you like your money in 10s and 20s. He's got to be doing okay to attract Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, he's got.
I just don't find her. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't find her falling for, as in this movie, the wildlife photographer who can barely get by. In real life, I just don't see it.
Who's like sleeping on a couch.
It's like maybe that's what she's trying to say, because it's very similar to the last movie, Falling for Christmas.
I think she's trying to just Two resentful exes must awkwardly spend Christmas together after learning their new partners are siblings. That's her next movie. They're just... Oh, this one has a decent cast, though. So this might be different. But they are all the same sort of thing now.
I just, so that's why I equated this to J-Lo. Now, the other thing I picked up while watching this movie is she needs to get away from this format. This romantic comedy, which she can't do comedy. She can't, there's nothing funny that she can do. But she needs to get, I think was in Scream, wasn't she?
No.
She wasn't in one of the Screams, a little cameo kind of
Hayden
thing?
Panettiere was.
Right, okay.
Similar age, similar person.
I'm
looking at her IMDb. I can look real quick.
So I just... Oh, she was in Scary Movie. Okay, I'm sorry. I got that. You're right. She needs to do something that she plays a druggie.
Not even a druggie, just somebody that's been struggling. Someone struggling.
Somebody who had a hard street life.
Yeah, she'd be wonderful. The problem is she fixed everything.
That's what I'm getting to.
She got injections, and she got new teeth, and she looks great. She's hot.
That's what I'm getting to, is she's trying to define her person by doing these sappy movies. This was not even a romantic comedy. It wasn't even a romance. There was no... This is a G movie.
The Irish fairy lady, the wish person, was hilarious.
And she's in it for 2 scenes.
Hello.
Or 3, yeah.
Darren, are you sure it's what you want? I was like, oh, you were ridiculous. This is a silly thing.
Yeah, I just do. I wish she would do something a little bit harder.
I hear you, but I bet if somebody backed up to our door and said, hey... Do you guys want to go do a crappy version of a Hallmark movie, and you're gonna direct, and I'm gonna be the Southern construction worker that's doing work on.
Well, she's under deal.
I get it. She's probably getting $150,000 each movie.
Well, I would think she's doing a little better, but
not these days.
I think watching this movie, I was reminded of. I don't know who in the Denver Broncos organization. I'm just going to assume it's John Elway because he's the director of player relations and whatever. He brought Peyton to the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to assume John Elway brought Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos.
Terrible decision.
Trying to repeat the magic of Peyton Manning. And first of all, I don't think, and I'm not a big football person, but you can tell Russell Wilson is no Peyton Manning because Russell Wilson lacks leadership. He just, he's out on the field. He's like Snoop Dogg.
In the movie?
Yeah, me, wide receiver. Me. It's all about me.
Yeah.
But Peyton, he's got a decent balance because he's about winning, and he at least understands that there's a team effort. So anyway, John Elway should be fired if he wasn't already for bringing Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos.
Well, especially since they have to pay his contract. They traded him to Pittsburgh.
Oh, I know.
For $1 million. Pittsburgh got him and Justin Fields. And the reason they did that is because they got him for $1 million for the next 2 years.
Yeah, 1.4.
Yeah, so if he's terrible, they have Justin Fields.
Oh, I know. Well, Justin Fields should play. But anyway, whoever at Netflix, this is where I was going with that. Whoever at Netflix signed Lindsay Lohan to a multi-picture deal, they should be fired.
If they let us see the number of views that they had, that would be fine, but they don't. I'd like to see how many views this got.
I can tell you how this tree looks, this graph. She might have with the first one because of the interest. Oh, Lindsay's back. Plug some decent numbers. But this one dropped off.
It's top 10.
And here's the thing too. Yeah, here's the thing. They're putting her in seasonal movies. Falling for Christmas and no, put something out there. And this is, St. Paddy's Day, Irish Wish. Put something out there with her in it that will really test it. You know, because people, oh look, it's a Christmas movie. Let's watch it. Oh look, it's a Irish St. Patrick's Day. That was the release. The release was the week before St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, they should be fired. They should be fired. I'd rather see that kind of money. I forget who it was at the Oscars got up there and said flat out, stop paying these $200 million for these $200 million pictures and go get a bunch of low budget or lower budget films.
Yeah. If it were back in the 90s, 80s, 2000, well, not 80s because everything just cost so much because we didn't have film. But if you go back to the 90s and 2000s, like they could make cool movies. They would give them like 15 million. They don't do that anymore. It's either it's under 5 million or over 100 million.
Yeah.
And like it's crap. It's not good. That's why you want to know why the Marvel movies have gotten bad? Well, because they're shoving them out and they're $150 million budgets and they have to make the money back, but they're crap.
Oh, they're more than $150 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, whoever at Netflix thought it was a good idea to sign Lindsay Lohan to a multi-picture deal needs to be fired. Because I would rather see that money go for more experimental or first look kind of things. Yeah. As opposed, because you know at this point what you're going to get from Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
And I don't think that bar is very high.
I can't wait to hear your score.
So, anyway, well, we can get to that.
Okay, what is your score?
My score is a 48.
My score
4.8. 48.
57.
Which, by the way, 50 is the lowest Ted will ever give.
That's true.
So that makes it a 7.
It's a 7.
If you want to break it down, if you want to be a smart ass about it,
it's a 7. I mean, I think Lindsay is hot. My wife and Lindsay Lohan look alike, minus the red hair.
I'm not going there because, we've watched a lot of movies with some really good looking people, and I've never on this show. Now I might have said, oh, they look good in this movie, but that has nothing to do with my performance.
Nothing to do with
what was that movie? That movie we watched with obviously today, definitely not. With Florence Pugh in it and Chris Pine.
Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't Worry, Darling. Yeah. So
that's a great movie.
Florence Pugh is
beautiful.
She is
and talented.
Yes, she's the whole package.
She's like one of the best actresses going.
So, anyway, I'm getting off key here. Yeah, I am a 47, 4.7 on this. This was not really watchable.
I hear you.
I mean, I found myself just kind of zoning out watching this movie, trying to figure out, okay, what can I do? I don't know. Let me go run down to the store and buy a model car and put it together while I'm watching this masterpiece.
I had to quit my Dungeons and Dragons game last night because I couldn't get to this before last night. And I go, guys, I got to cut loose early. I got an hour of the Lindsay Lohan movie. And my one friend goes, I heard it feels like AI wrote it. And it does.
And it's like a first gen AI program if you're going to go that route.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I started this movie last week. I did. I went 10 minutes into this. I went to Vegas for 4 days. And I figured, okay, because we're going to tape the show basically the day I get back, because I got back today at 2:00 in the morning, and here we are, 18 hours later, not even 14 hours later, and I figured I was going to watch it before I went to Vegas, and I started, and I got 15 minutes into it, and I was like, is this a good time for me to throw out my old toothbrush or my current toothbrush, take it with me to Vegas, and I'll just leave it in the garbage can there, and then I'll come home and get a new toothbrush? Or has it been 6 months since I changed? That was my thought process. Was watching the first 10 minutes of this movie. That's what I was saying. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to go pack. I'm going to go find a toothbrush, figure this out. And I watched it today. Matter of fact, this morning I woke up, I just driven. I got, obviously horrible sinus. I was driven to get the day going, and I sat down. What's on our list? That movie.
Irish Luck.
Irish Wish.
Irish Wish.
Yeah.
There's no luck in this for you.
I go, you know what? I probably should run to the grocery store.
You did everything in your power not to.
I did. It was one of those things.
We don't have to watch any more Lindsay Lohan. You picked this.
I did for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did, because I know you like Lindsay Lohan. How did you start this show? What'd you say?
I'm a Lohan fan.
I'm a Lohan fan.
I would ask her to end this. I would ask her, I know you're doing this as a deal. Go do an indie movie. Go do something where to stretch it, show you're good.
Yeah, exactly. At least use your deal to make something with punch.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Again, I think she's doing these vehicles to clean up her past public perception.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to be a squeaky clean. There's a scene in this movie, and it's not a spoiler. They're engaged. They're going to get married, and she's in bed with her fiance.
That's the best scene.
And she realizes that she's in bed. Now you got to remember, she's in love with this guy. She was in love with this guy before she made the wish. She still punches him in the eye, elbows him in the eye,
punches him in the nuts,
and punched him in the nuts. There's nothing real about that.
Nope.
So anyway. All right, everybody, thanks for listening. Lindsay, come on. You've been given an opportunity here by 3-picture deal with Netflix. And pardon my expression here, but you've pissed away the first 2.
Damn.
On doing Parent Trap. Wow. So, type movies. Come on. You're 37 years old. Make grown-up movies. I mean, really.
I hear you.
Anyway, everybody, thanks for listening to Streaming Without a Paddle. Check us out on our YouTube channel. And having said that, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.